Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is Mark Roden, and in today's video we are going to be going over how to build the perfect Chevrolet Silverado GMT800. This is it's so confusing the way like the Silverado generations work, but it's like the 2000s models and the cat eyes, okay? Those models. If you probably already know that if you're clicking on the video, but if you don't, that's what we're doing. The way this works, in case you're new here, is this is not a guide. It is just how I personally would build this car if I owned it myself. It's a good base, you know what I mean? If you're going crazy in one direction, like let's say you're going for like a trophy truck build or specifically an off-road build, or you specifically want it to tow, this is not a video for you. This is a good base. It's like where to start, in my opinion. So please don't get mad if I say a mod that you don't like, or I miss a mod that you think is necessary. The comments are 100% open if you're an owner of these trucks, or if you know more about this truck than I do. By all means, I'm open for constructive criticism, okay? Also, huge shout out to Alex Martini. This is his idea. I started watching his videos and it made me realize that I kind of want to do these videos as well. And so, yeah, huge shout out to him. Great YouTuber. And also, last little disclaimer, I promise, but this is implying that you are going to do the work yourself. If you like because we're going to go over the pricing of each part, obviously, that I would want to do as well. If you plan on having a professional install it or whatever, just expect to pay double or even maybe triple the price of the parts on the list. That's all there is to it. And the way this works is we're going to go over the exterior first, exterior mods that I would do first, interior mods next, and then the performance mods at the end of the video. And at the end of the video, go over the total cost of the car, including the price of the truck as well. Okay, media of the day is Forza Motorsport, the new one, Forza Motorsport 8 or whatever. A lot of people like hated on it for being like not as good as the older Forza Motorsports. And while that is true and everything, I still think it's fun. I still have a lot of fun playing this game. Its graphics are amazing. Its handling of each car is great. And it's got a lot of modern cars that are fun to drive around in. I like it. It's a fun racing game. Go give it a try. Without further ado, let's go right into how to build the perfect GMT800. First things first, so we got to go over the cost of the vehicle itself. If I had to guess, I would say you can find a good GMT800. By the way, this is a 1500 gas job, not a diesel truck. You could find a good 1500 gas job GMT800 for around $5,000. All right, I've been looking at these trucks. I love them. I have a little bit of nostalgia value with these trucks. My dad had these trucks my entire life growing up. And so I love these trucks, and I look at them all the time, and I always find relatively decent ones for $5,000. It might have a little bit higher mileage, but it's a truck. It's okay as long as its rust is reasonable. So $5,000 I think is a good starting point for the cost of it. Obviously, you're going to be spending a lot more if you get a diesel, but if you're just getting a gas, $1,500, I think $5,000 is great. Either way, let's get into the exterior mods. This is easily this truck's biggest budget here of the list, because I have a lot of I'm a racer, okay? Like, my vehicle's looking great. First off is I would go with the Jegs cowl induction hood for $450. I think it's nice, man. I think it looks really nice. It's a nice little cowl induction. It's not like a big massive one that makes it impossible to see out of. It's nice. Next thing I would do is the bed liner. This is exterior mod, sure, because it does make the truck look better, but it's also just like a quality of life thing. Like, I feel like every truck should have some bed liner, especially if you plan on putting things in the bed of it, which you probably do if you're thinking about getting a truck. Bed liner is around $20 if you do it yourself. It's dirt cheap, very simple and pretty easy to do, honestly too. I did it on a Ford Ranger one time. It's pretty easy. Next is the LED DRL chrome headlights. It's like a chrome housing DRL headlights for $150. It gets rid of that little amber turn signal part. I like these a lot. I think these look really good, really clean on the trucks. It's not too overboard. I like it a lot. $150. I'd buy it for sure. Also, I would buy Akon AKKON taillights for $100. Again, just want to round out that lighting package, you know, have the nice headlights, but also have the nice taillights. This is one of the biggest things I feel like that kills a vehicle. Like, you can have the nicest looking vehicle, but if your headlights and taillights aren't cool, it just looks terrible. Like my 350Z looked good, I think, personally, but it had yellow nasty headlights the entire time, so it looked horrible from the front. Next thing is I would go with the Car ID chrome grille for $100. I think with the chrome headlights and the chrome grille matching together, that would be great. Another thing too, a lot of people like to black out their trucks grills and their headlights and everything and make it like a darker color. I actually like chrome. I might be the only person in the world that does, but I actually like when trucks have a lot of chrome pieces on them. I don't know why, I just think it looks more cool that way. So I would go with the chrome grille, but you could go with the black one here too. It's around the same price. Next is the badges themselves. Every Chevrolet on the planet has custom badges. They're never just the regular old gold bow tie. I would just go with black. Just black Chevy badges for $20. You could buy them for $20, but you could also literally just spray paint them, dude, for like less than $5. But either way, if you don't want to do that, I guess $20 is how much you're going to be spending on this, and that's, I mean, dirt cheap. I think that would be good with the chrome headlights and chrome grille as well. Also, I'd prefer to have the truck be black if I bought it, so this would all look great, but we'll go over that in a second. Next is the tow mirrors. I wouldn't cheap out on these though. I would go with the signal tow mirrors, ones that have the turn signals built into them, for $400. Very expensive, I know, for just some mirrors, but I think this would like really round out the truck. Tow mirrors on trucks just look really freaking good, man. Like, it's just all there is to it. I think they look incredible. Every time I see tow mirrors on a truck, I smile a little bit, so I wouldn't mind spending a little bit of money on the tow mirrors. Next up is window tints. You could do this yourself. This is the only one that I would actually just recommend having a professional install it though. And if you did that with a professional, it would be around $500. That's how much it was for my 350Z. And maybe it'd be a little bit more since it's a truck. I doubt it though, because it's very common. So they usually go off of like rarity and how hard it is to get the window tint for that vehicle. But either way, yeah, $500 is around how much you would be paying for a professional job. And I personally, dude, I just recommend doing it professionally with the window tints, man. I cannot tell you the amount of times I've seen people like do their own window tints, and then a month later it's bubbling and peeling and looks horrible. Like, just I don't know. I would just cough up the extra change, the extra cheddar, and have a professional install it. And finally, the most expensive exterior mod by far, is not even close, is, like I said earlier, I'd want the truck to be black. And so if it wasn't black, I would get a black wrap or a black paint job or something. And if you do that yourself, it's going to be around the $2,000 mark. It was around $1,200 for my Integra, but I did get the wrap itself for free, and I paid a professional to do it for $1,200. However, that is also a very small vehicle, and a truck is obviously pretty big, so you're going to need a little bit more vinyl as well, and you have to buy it, but you don't have to have the professional install it. So it's really all around, like, kind of confusing there when it comes to how much the wrap cost is going to be. I gave it a $2,000 price point, which is obviously really expensive, but I think a nice black wrap on the truck would look perfect with the chrome and everything. So obviously color is probably the biggest thing you can change on a vehicle, so I think it's worth the $2,000 personally, which gives us a total cost, by the way, of the exterior mods of $3,740, or $1,740 if you just buy a black truck, or if you don't care about the color, or if you like the color you have, or whatever. It's obviously over half of that price for the exterior mods is all just the wrap. So if you don't plan on wrapping it, then only $1,700 for all that stuff, which is pretty good. But now let's get into the interior mods. Interior crocodile alligator. This one's so small, because I don't understand what other mods you would really do for a truck's interior. I feel like the truck's interiors are always just kind of stock, because like what is there to do with them, you know what I mean? First off, for the interior is Apple CarPlay for $150. It's Apple CarPlay. What else is there to say about it? And finally, for the interior, I know we've been here for a while, floor mats for $100. I saw some nice like WeatherTech floor mats for $100 for this truck. I think that's a necessity if you're driving a truck around, man, because like you're obviously using it probably as a work vehicle. You might have some mud and snow and mush on your shoes. You're gonna want some WeatherTech floor mats, $100, which gives us a total price of the interior mods of $250. Pretty expensive, I know. You work literally half a shift. No, not half a shift, but you work one shift at even one shift at a McDonald's wouldn't cover this. 2 shifts at a McDonald's, and you got $250 to spend on your interior mods, and that's all it takes. 2 days of work. Come on, man, that's great. It's really just because I don't know what other interior mods for a truck, though. If anybody has any recommendations for this, I'd greatly appreciate it. But now we are into the performance mods. This one is not as expensive as the exterior mods, but it is pretty damn close, not gonna lie, because I like a lot of the performance mods. There's not even that many performance mods, it's just that they're expensive because they're truck performance mods, so they're big. First off is the Rough Country 3-inch lift kit for $500. That's way cheaper than I thought it would be, by the way. 3-inch lift kit I thought would be like a couple $1,000, but I guess it is just kind of suspension, which makes sense. It's like coilovers pretty much. But either way, yeah, a 3-inch lift kit I think it's great for these trucks. It looks nice. It's not way too over the top monster truck and all over the place, but it does look good and bigger than a normal truck, and I like the 3-inch lift kit. Next would be the Rough Country dual exit exhaust for $650. I'm going to insult every single truck guy when I say this, but it's my opinion. This is all just personal preference, obviously, but I think one of the ugliest mods I've ever seen on a truck is when they put these exhausts on them that are like the size of my head. I think that is the ugliest, most dumb looking thing of all time. I would just get a regular old dual exit, nice looking exhaust for my truck. Like, I don't want that. So this is what I would do personally, but I know I'm in the minority there when it comes to the truck mods. Next for the performance mods would be the Rough Country. We're sticking with this brand, not sponsored, but we are sticking with them. I like their stuff. Rough Country 77 series wheels in chrome for $1,400 for the set of 4 of them. That's not including the tires. Pretty expensive, but you got to remember these are obviously chrome, pretty large wheels because they're going to go on a truck and they're going to be wide. I like them. That's all there is to it, man. I like them. I remember seeing something online about how the wheels like these are like Bubba spec or whatever. I don't know what that means. I don't know if it's an insult, but I guess I'm Bubba because I like them. I like this spec. I like this style instead of the rubber band freaking like 10 spoke wheels that people put on their trucks. I think that just looks silly sometimes, and so I would personally go with this. And finally, for the performance, is obviously if we're getting new wheels, we also need to get new tires. So I'd get some all-terrain tires for $1,000. It's pretty simple. Obviously, it's all-terrain tires. You want all-terrain tires on your truck. Another reason why I really don't like the whole like rubber band tire thing is just because like you're driving a truck with rubber bands on. I get it if it's a lowered car, like it makes sense on a lowered car because you don't need that much traction. But on this, it's like really you're kind of defeating the whole purpose of the truck. Like I want to go off-road in my truck if I had it, so I'd want some all-terrain tires. It's also just like I'd probably use my truck as a winter beater as well, so it'd be nice to have it as well. Either way, that gives us a total price for the performance, my bad, mods of $3,550, or $200 cheaper than the exterior mods. So they're around the same in terms of the price, the exterior and in performance mods, but the performance mods, there's a lot less of them, so but they do make a much bigger difference, obviously. So take that as you will, I guess. But yeah, that's what I would do personally, which gives us a grand total, by the way, with the cost of the truck included, the $5,000 upfront cost of buying the truck, of $12,540 to build the perfect starter GMT800 in Mark Roden's opinion. Notice how we didn't do any like horsepower additive mods. Like there's no cold air intake, no turbo here for this truck. That's because I get why people do it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not hating on you if that's what you like doing, but I personally don't see the appeal behind building up a very, very extremely heavy truck to be like fast. I get it. Like don't get me wrong, like if you want to do that, good on you, man. It's your money, go do what you want to do with it, don't get me wrong. But at the same time, I personally wouldn't. I would just want it to be a nice daily driver that can get the job done, go over any terrain I needed to go over, and not really break down that much, and look good while doing it and be comfortable and everything like that. And I think this would be a great start for that. But ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of today's video on how to build the perfect Chevrolet GMT800 Silverado. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more content just like this. Let me know what other videos I'd like to see in the comment section down below. Check the links in the description for any of my other social medias or any of my other YouTube channels or any of that great mumbo jumbo. And the pinned comment below will be my new YouTube channel called Giggity Plays, where I'll be uploading any sort of Let's Plays. Right now we're playing through Red Dead Redemption 2 for the first time ever, and oh my Lanta, I am having a blast with that. By the way, I put it off for so long because that's the whole reason why I started this channel, is to try new story games. I've always played Call of Duty, Rainbow Six Siege, Battlefield. Right now I'm playing a lot of Rocket League with my buddies. I like the competitive games, but I never put any time really into any story games. There's a couple that I finished, like Elden Ring I finished, GTA 5 I finished, Far Cry 3 I finished, and that's about it. I'm sure there's like 1 or 2 more that I can't think of, but I really was never a big story game guy, but I always wanted to try them, and so I was like, why not make this channel? It forces me to try new story games. And so I obviously tried one of the ones that everybody said is one of the best, which is Red Dead Redemption 2, as one of the first ones, and man, they are not wrong. I am hooked on that game. I want to play it right now so bad. I'm having so much fun. So if you guys are interested in watching me play some video games, that's where it'll be, I guess. But either way, thank you guys so much for watching. It's been a while since we did another one of these how to builds. The last one was on the Mark V GTI, and I love doing them, and you guys seem to like them. Actually, they do pretty good in terms of views, which is great. I think most people understand that it's not like a crazy build thing. Like this isn't like a trophy truck build, obviously. It's just a nice start, and I really appreciate that because I want people to understand that it's like you can't make everybody happy if you go one crazy way. So that's why I just kind of do a base. It also is just better for the price as well, like 13 grand pretty much total, and only 10 grand really if you don't plan on wrapping the truck for a pretty perfect starter like GMT800 Silverado. You can't really beat that. I mean, you really can't. That's a great start, man. And I love these trucks too, man. I've always been a massive fan of these GMT800s. My dad has had them my entire life growing. He had diesels, obviously, but still, like, they're such sick trucks that even smelling them, I know it sounds weird, but even smelling them, like, brings me back to when I was a kid, driving back home at, like, 8 o'clock at night, sleeping in the back seat of my dad's truck. And it's just a nostalgia thing that I have with these trucks. I love these trucks. I want one so bad. If I were to buy a truck, this would easily be the truck I would buy. I love them. And so I wanted to do a video on one. I hope you guys understand. But in the future, we are going to be doing a lot of these how to builds on recommended cars. So if you want to see your car and how I would personally build your car, by all means leave a comment down below. You guys leave comments all the time, and I really appreciate it. But I will say, some of you guys, I don't think understand that I'm a YouTuber at the end of the day, and I have to make sure that it's appealing to a pretty wide audience. That doesn't have to be the widest audience, but something that's going to reach a couple of people. Like, some people will be like, oh, could you do one on the 2007 Hyundai Sonata? Like, listen, man, I love you and I appreciate your support and everything, but there's just no one's gonna watch that. I'm sorry, but it's just I can't do that. So yeah, just please keep that in mind. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. Das Vidania, and have a nice night.